Morning, everybody. This is Susie Ellis talking to Alan Rich about trading the financial markets today, the 30th of September. Morning, Alan. How are you?
Morning, Susie. Fine, thanks.
What's been happening today?
Well, at the moment, it's a little bit boring, but the real action was on Friday night, and you can tend to get a feel for everything by watching the US markets. So what happened in the last hour of trading on Friday in the US is they suddenly started getting worried about the biotech sector. Now, why the biotech sector? Well, as this market has gone up in recent years, the biotech sector has been one of the leading sectors. It's actually gone really mad. I'm looking at my screens now. It's gone from, okay, let's say from about $100 to $400. Okay.
Goodness me. So, what time in the UK was that for people who don't know these timings?
Yeah, about 8 o'clock at night. So, in the last number of years, the biotech sector has been red hot. I've been riding it for 2 years. Okay, and it's been the trade that I've been on was making about 45% a year profit. Okay, so that is the leading sector. And what actually happened was that this leading sector in the last week has been falling like a stone after Hillary Clinton came out with some words. And on Friday night,
can you just elaborate on that? What did Hillary Clinton say that had that sort of effect on the market?
Okay, well, what tends to happen is that in a really good bull market, if somebody comes out with some words about this, that, and the other, what the government should do, and so on and so forth, literally it'll sell off for a little while, and then they'll see it as a buying opportunity, and they'll start buying it and taking it up. And in the biotech sector, because it's more or less the hottest sector out there, that's what they do. Anyway, they listened to what she said, and they sold it like crazy. So they started selling it, and the general market didn't really take much notice of it until the last hour of trading on Friday, and they literally threw in the towel, started following the biotech sector down, and then the next day I sent out a trade, and you saw that I made 400 points in 24 hours. You saw that trade, and all that happened then was on Monday was literally the rest of the world followed suit. So the FTSE went down and followed what the US was doing. The US continued down, and Asia continued down as well. Now, since that drop, which was engineered by the biotech sector, we've gone sideways yesterday. We bounced a bit. Asia bounced a bit overnight, and Europe is gradually going up. But when I look at the biotech sector for yesterday, let me just go and get that up for yesterday. Okay, yesterday it had an initial bounce, but it's sold off again. So here we've got a leading sector that is really being hit, and the market took fright for that. They got frightened about what was going on, and so really at the moment we're having this little bounce in the market, which is really against, let's say, the major trend at the moment. So
that's really interesting that things should be stagnating and really waiting for the next thing that's going to happen.
Okay, now what's happening to the biotech sector? I'll get the weekly chart, so
okay,
I can tell you what's going on. Okay, so roughly, let's say in 2009, this is an exchange traded fund which you can trade the biotech sector in the US. It was about $50, and so from 2009 at the lows, it went to $400.
Okay,
so, an amazing move. Okay, that everybody was on. Like I said, I rode my long-term trade for 2 years on it, and it was making 45% a year, and that was a UK investment trust. But now it's turned. So you're getting everybody on the NASDAQ looking at this and they're worried about that biotech sector. And at the moment, it's fallen and it's actually found some support. You know, the last big drop a few weeks ago, well, it's now down there. The biotech sector is actually at support. And it will be interesting to see if it bounces off this support or it drops again. Now, if it drops again, right, there are going to be people out there that are going to get worried about it. If that's the lead sector and it just can't stand up, then it doesn't bode well for the rest of the market. So
where can how can people look at these charts in the biotech sector? Where can they find these charts?
You've got various ETFs in the UK that tend to follow it, but they tend to follow it a day late. Really, what you need is a US broker that gives you US charts.
Okay.
If they've got a spread betting company, they could go and look at, say, the code is IBB, which is the ETF that they trade right on the biotechs. Okay, so I think probably going to a very good spread betting company that does all the US shares is whether they could go and look. Other than that, you'd have to go and get. I think every trader needs a good charting package. You know, there's no point in looking on the internet. You need to pay for something and get good tools.
Yeah, exactly, because the free charts are always out of date, aren't they? And they're not real time.
They're just no good. That's why they're free, and that's why traders.
Earlier on in our conversation just now, you said you put out a post. Well, I know what that means, but could you just tell people how they can get in touch with your post, your blogs?
Okay, I've got a website called alanrichtrading.com, and if you go on there, there's a blog, and if you join that blog, then what happens is that if I see something going on in the markets, I post it in that blog, and people get an email so that they can see exactly what I'm doing and how I see the markets. So that's where I tend to write things up right all the time in that blog on alanrichtrading.com. Okay.
Thank you very much for that. The other thing is it's interesting that you have to spend a lot of time waiting. People think that trading's a really fast, big, busy thing, but as you are illustrating, quite a lot of the time is spent waiting and watching and not doing anything. And people do sometimes say, your money is as safe waiting as it is trading.
Okay, well, let's think about something. If trading is really a job, and at the end of the week, and for a lot of day traders, they try and make 50 points or 100 points a day. So at the end of the week, they want to try and see that they've made, 200, 300 points. Well, if you make all that profit in one day, which I did on Monday, I made 400 points. Then I tend to want to sit on my hands a little bit until I see some really good trades. I don't want to spend all day just getting in for about 10 or 15 or 20 points and then out again. I like things that are a little bit faster because you can make your money a lot quicker and you can get off and do other things. So it's really how much money you make in the day and how much money you make in the week.
Exactly. So I think you always talk about, which I find quite amusing, your day's money. And some people learning to trade don't understand that at all. They get hooked up with the real excitement of watching the charts and become quite addicted with it, instead of just sitting back and thinking, all I want is my money in my bank account, and that's the end of it, and walk away. I think the discipline is very important, isn't it?
The discipline is very, very important. If you start trading in a quiet time, then you can start giving money back to the market. Now, I was trading the US yesterday, and it was a grind. You had to grind out your day's money. Okay. And then this morning it's going up, but it's just a bit boring. I like it when it's a lot more volatile, and so I can make my money or my day's money a lot quicker. And if it runs on for a number of days, then that's an added bonus. If you get too close to the market and you're in and out when nothing much is happening, that's when you can lose. So that's when you sit on your hands and wait for something more exciting to happen.
Okay, well, that's fantastic, Alan. Thanks for your thoughts today, and we'll talk again very soon. Thank you.
Thank you.